Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of First Maccabees, the 12th chapter. Now, when Jonathan saw that time served him, so when he saw that things were going well for him, he chose certain men that sent them to Rome for to confirm and renew the friendship that they had with them. He sent letters also to the Lacedaemonians and to other places for the same purpose. And the Lacedaemonians were, part of them were they of Sparta, right? If we look up here, Lacedaemonians, which they were also Israelites. So it says here, the Lacedaemonians were the people of Lacedaemon, the ancient region in Greece whose primary city was Sparta, right? Known for its powerful military and strict society, and you can read the rest. So they sent letters to them as well for peace. So they went on to Rome and entered into the Senate and said, Jonathan the high priest and the people of the Jews sent us unto you, to the end ye should renew the friendship which ye had with them and league as in former time. Upon this the Romans gave them letters unto the governors of every place, that they should bring them into the land of Judea peaceably. So they said, all right, we're going to renew it, and then you send these letters, all around and make sure that everything is in its proper order, because we already had a treaty with the Romans going back to the time of Judas. And this is the copy of the letters which Jonathan wrote to the Lacedaemonians. Jonathan the high priest and the elders of the nation, and the priests and the other of the Jews, unto the Lacedaemonians their brethren, send greetings. There were letters sent in times past unto Onias the high priest from Darius, which this Darius here is really Arius. If you look up here, Arius of, is it Sparta? Yeah, King Arius of Sparta. And it says Arius and the Jews. It says here, I'm going to read this real quick. Arius makes a surprising appearance in the ancient Jewish literature. The first book of the Maccabees first reproduces a letter sent by Arius to the high priest Onias I, then a letter from the high priest Jonathan, and a third dated 142 BC from the Spartans to Simon, Jonathan's successor. Flavius Josephus, a Jewish historian of the 1st century AD, also refers to these letters, which all establish and renew friendship ties between Sparta and Judea. Both sources describe Arius as a friend of the Jews, who claimed a common ancestry between Jews and Spartans, said to be brothers and descendants of Abraham. See? This puzzling connection between a Greek state and a people subject to Ptolemaic Egypt has attracted considerable attention among many scholars. And then it goes on, so on and so forth. So that's when it says Darius is referring to Arius of Sparta, who reigned then among you. So he was then the king of the Lacedaemonians, to signify that ye are our brethren, as the copy here underwritten doth specify. Okay, so so they themselves acknowledge that, right? And that's why you can, that spirit that the Spartans had, it is that of Israel. At which time Onias entreated the ambassador that was sent honorably and received the letters, wherein that declaration was made of the league and friendship. Therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of Scripture in our hands to comfort us. So we don't need help, but we want to renew this treaty, this friendship. Have nevertheless attempted to send on to you for the renewing of brotherhood and friendship, lest we should become strangers unto you altogether. For there is a long time past since ye sent unto us. So it's been a while. We want to, keep that brotherhood alive. We don't want to end up just being strangers over the time. Different rulers come and then our alliance is forgotten. We don't want that. We therefore at all times without ceasing, both in our feasts and other convenient days do remember you in the sacrifices which we offer, and in our prayers, as reason is, and as it becometh us to think upon our brethren. So as we have occasion, right, and as we, have our sacrifices and so on, we pray for you as well. And we are and do you think they would be saying that about heathens? No. And we are right glad of your honor. As for ourselves, we have had great troubles and wars on every side, for as much as the kings that are round about us have fought against us. Howbeit, we would not be troublesome unto you, nor to others of our confederates and friends in these wars. For we have help from heaven that so cureth us, so as we are delivered from our enemies, and our enemies are brought underfoot. So basically, yes, we did go through troubles. We did, have some hiccups here and there, but we're not here to be burdensome onto you and asking you to come and fight our wars. We have help from heaven, right, from our God. For this cause we chose Numenius, the son of Antiochus. These are Israelites. They just go by these names, these Greek names. And Antipater, the son of Jason, and sent them on to the Romans to renew the enmity that we had with them, and to form a league. We commanded them also to go unto you and to salute and to deliver you our letters concerning the renewing of our brotherhood. Wherefore now ye shall do well to give us an answer thereto. So we reply to us. So we know that everything is still in good standing. And this is the copy of the letters which Oniris sent Arius, king of the Lacedaemonians, to Onias, the high priest, greeting. So this is what they're saying. This is the account, the record of the previous letter that was sent to Onias. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham. So they all descended from Abraham. They're not Ishmaelites, right? And they're not Edomites, okay? And based on how Israel was speaking about them, they would have to be Israelites. Now, therefore, since there is come to our knowledge, ye shall do well to write unto us of your prosperity. We do write back again to you that our cattle and goods are ours, and ours are yours. We do command, therefore, our ambassadors to make report unto you on this wise. Basically, ours are yours are ours. That's a way of saying, like, we're tight, right? We're in an alliance. Now, when Jonathan heard that Demebius's prince were come to fight against him with a greater host than before, which I think was that Demetrius, but just a error in the spelling, he removed from Jerusalem and met them in the land of Amethyst, for he gave them no respite to enter his country. So he didn't give them any chance. He went and met them, so before they could even get close. He sent spies also onto their tents, who came again and told him that they were appointed to come upon them in the night season. So they were planning to come and attack at night. Wherefore, as soon as the sun was down, Jonathan commanded his men to watch and to be in arms, and that all the night long they might be ready to fight. Also, he sent forth sentinels, which are guards, round about the host. So he made sure his men were ready all that night, because the forces of the enemy were hoping to catch him off guard while in the nighttime. But when the adversaries heard that Jonathan and his men were ready for battle, they feared and trembled in their hearts, and they kindled fires in their camp, because they were hoping to get the drop on them by coming at night, because they knew that they would need a handicap or to have some advantage if they were going against Jonathan. But that was all gone, because now Jonathan and his men were ready. Howbeit Jonathan and his company knew it not till the morning, for they saw the lights burning. So they didn't realize these these people had set fires in their camp until they saw those lights. Then Jonathan pursued after them, but overtook them not, for they were gone over the river Eleutherus. And let's see, what's that? First Maccabees 12 and 30. First Maccabees 12 30. No. Okay. Oh, okay. So I guess that is the name of it, the Eleutheris River. Where we at? 30. Okay. Verse 31. Wherefore Jonathan turned to the Arabians who were called Zabadeans, and smote them and took their spoils. And removing thence, he came to Damascus, and so passed through all the country. Simon also went forth and passed through the country unto Ascalon, and the holds there adjoining, from whence he turned aside to Joppa and won it. So they were taking over these strongholds yet again. For he had heard that they would deliver the hold unto them that took Demetrius' part. So they were trying to defect and give that control to Demetrius's side. So he went and took it. Wherefore he set a garrison there to keep it, so nobody could come back and just retake it. After this came Jonathan home again, and calling the elders of the people together, he consulted with them about building strongholds in Judea, and making the walls of Jerusalem higher, and raising a great mount between the tower and the city, for to separate it from the city, that it might be alone, that men might neither sell nor buy in it. So they wanted to isolate that tower that Antiochus had built, that fortress there, so that those that were in it, since they couldn't take it over yet, would be cut off. They couldn't buy, they couldn't sell, they couldn't get victuals going in and out, and then eventually it would weaken them. Upon this they came together to build up the city, for as much as part of the wall toward the brook on the east side was fallen down, and they repaired that which was called Kaphenath or Kaphenatha. Simon also set up Dida in Cephala and made it strong with gates and bars. Now Tryphon went about to get the kingdom of Asia and to kill Antiochus the king, that he might set the crown upon his own head. See, as we read about him in secular history, that was his plan, to now usurp the throne and kill the young king and take it for himself. Howbeit he was afraid that Jonathan would not suffer him, i.e., allow him to do it, and that he would fight against him. Wherefore he sought a way how to take Jonathan, that he might kill him. So he removed and came to Bethshan. So he started plotting. He's like, Jonathan is going to be a threat. I can't just go and kill Antiochus. I got to get Jonathan out the way first. Then Jonathan went out to meet him with 40,000 men chosen for the battle, and came to Bethshan. Now when Tryphon saw Jonathan came with so great a force, he durst not stretch his hand against him. He said, I'm not going to go to war with this guy. I got to think of a better way. But received him honorably, and commended him unto all his friends, and gave him gifts, and commanded his men of war to be as obedient unto him as to himself. So he tried to get Jonathan to let his guard down by making it seem like, bro, that was why'd you come with such a large army? Like, we're not at war, we're good, So he's like, look, he gave him gifts. He told his soldiers, hey, whatever Jonathan says, you do. You follow him just like you would follow me. Unto Jonathan also he said, why hast thou brought all this people to so great trouble? Seeing there is no war betwixt us, you brought this whole army for what? Ain't no war going on, which are all lies. Therefore send them now home again, and choose a few men to wait on thee, and come thou to me to Ptolemais. For I will give it thee, and the rest of the strongholds and forces, and all that have any charge. As for me, I will return and depart, for this is the cause of my coming. So he basically told him, look, send your men back and you meet me at Ptolemais. I'm gonna take that stronghold and give it to you. That's why I came here. So Jonathan, believing him, did as he bade him, and sent away his host, who went into the land of Judea. And with himself he retained about 3,000 men, of whom he sent 2,000 into Galilee, and 1,000 went with him. So Jonathan reduced his army drastically, and him and his 1,000 men went to meet Tryphon at Ptolemais. Now as soon as Jonathan entered into Ptolemais, they of Ptolemais shut the gates and took him, and all them that came with him they slew with the sword. So it was an ambush. then sent Tryphon an host of footmen and horsemen into Galilee and into the great plain to destroy all Jonathan's company, all his men that he had sent over there. But when they knew that Jonathan and they that were with him were taken and slain, so when they heard word, they encouraged one another and went close together, prepared to fight. So as Tryphon's men came there, Jonathan's company, his men, having heard what these guys did, they were like, oh, hell no, we're going to fight. We're going to fight back. And they therefore that followed upon them, perceiving that they were ready to fight for their lives, turned back again. They said, okay, yeah, these guys, they look like they're ready to die for this. So they stopped pursuing them. Whereupon they all came into the land of Judea peaceably, and there they bewailed Jonathan, because they thought he was dead, and them that were with him, and they were sore afraid. Wherefore all Israel made great lamentation. Then all the heathen that were round about then sought to destroy them, for they said, they have no captain, nor any to help them. Now therefore let us make war upon them, and take away their memorial from among men. So they're weak now. They don't have a captain. Jonathan is gone. Let's take advantage of this and kill him. And that brings us to the end of the book of 1 Maccabees, the 12th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rechak Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.